So hello and welcome to the channel, and welcome to me doing something new. We're going to be taking a look around my rig. Now, back towards the end of 2017 I really did want to get into sim racing, and I didn't really know where to start. Obviously I needed a sim rig, and looking online I think I was originally looking at the Abuto Revolution, but just found the delivery costs of nearly 200 UK pounds to be delivered from Europe was just a little bit too much. So I spent a little bit of time trying to find a manufacturer in the UK that could deliver the aluminium profile and all the fittings so I could actually build the sim myself, looking at some online versions like the Sim Lab. I just thought I would try and replicate something for a little bit cheaper cost wise, and just something that I've actually built myself, something that was custom to how I wanted it, and I could put things where I wanted them. So I ordered all the parts, which you can see and which I'll quite happily share online, and just started building really, and took it from there. Ordered all my equipment from Fanatec, and just got involved really. So let's have a look around the rig and I'll show you everything, where it's situated, the equipment that I'm using, and just how it functions really. So starting off with the monitor, this is a ViewSonic VX3211, which is a 2K 32-inch WQHD monitor running on an IPS panel. It's got all the usual HDMI, VGA and display ports, and two other audio outputs. And I generally run this at 1440p on my Xbox One X, and considering the price bracket, it is a pretty good monitor when purchased. I think I bought it myself back in 2017 for £240, but retailing today for about £250, which is an absolute bargain. So moving on to the equipment itself, I tried to buy the best equipment I could with the budget I had at the time. So spending money at Fanatec seemed like a pretty good idea, to be honest, and going with the version 2.5 Club Sport wheelbase, it was a no-brainer really. Obviously I purchased the Club Sport wheel first, and then eventually got round to buying the McLaren wheel, which has taken on a few different designs using some kinesiology tape, which does work quite well, to be honest. Compared to the direct drive bases that are out there, the version 2.5 is probably classed as an entry-level base, but for me, even running it at a third of its potential, there's more than enough force feedback. So moving on to the pedals, I managed to pick these up in the Black Friday deals and got them at exactly the same price as a standard V3 set. Now, they've taken on some changes over the past few years, especially trying to get the pedals more level and trying to modulate the accelerator better by moving the damper from the brake pedal across to the accelerator pedal, which was something I covered in a later video, or an earlier video, when it came to using the heel and toe technique and just really perfecting that skill really. But the pedals are fantastic. The brake performance kit's also installed, and that made a massive difference to the pedals. Really happy with these. So moving on to the last piece of Fanatec equipment to really finish off the jigsaw was the Sequential gearbox. Now initially I didn't think I'd use this that much, using the pedals on the wheel, but I really have gotten into using this quite a bit now, especially using Assetto Corsa. It really is quite a good gearbox. I haven't used it sequentially yet, but just using it as a standard gearbox has proved invaluable really, and it just brings another element of immersion to the sim itself. Moving on to the seat itself, this was literally an Amazon purchase from Autostyle, which was just an Evo style seat. I guess it's very similar to something you'd probably see in an Audi, but it came complete with the sliders itself for about £150. It does look fairly comfortable, but after you've spent about 2 hours in one of these things, it soon became apparent that I needed a little bit more lumbar support, and ended up buying myself one of these little cushions that just sits nicely and can move from chair to chair, but it really has made this seat far more comfortable, and I could sit in here for hours at a time with no discomfort whatsoever. It's a pretty good seat. It does all the slidey forward stuff and tilts backwards, which wasn't too bad considering the price. Even though I'm sim racing on an Xbox, having a keyboard is invaluable for all the functions that are needed in some of the games, especially in Project Cars 2, and this Havit keyboard, which came complete with its mouse and RGB lighting, has been an absolute godsend. Really definitely worth getting hold of a keyboard if you're on console also. Moving on to the tiny camera on top of the monitor, the Logitech C920 HD 1080p webcam, a device that I don't use particularly regularly, but I do use it for when I do my Skype guitar lessons, and it's proved invaluable and perfect picture quality throughout. So just finishing off with a few other items is the Xbox One X itself. This is the only thing that's powering everything that I'm using, and definitely a must if you're an Xbox user is just upgrading to the X if you're wanting to remain with a console. The other thing on the side of my monitor is the Tryone Gooseneck, which is just holding my Nexus tablet, which I use for RS Dash. A really handy piece of kit just to manipulate as to where you actually want it yourself. Just situated nicely at the side so I can see what sort of lap times I'm setting. And then these, I think they're called InVision glass desks, which house my Xbox itself, and just below that one, which holds my keyboard and my Virgin box. But a really useful piece of kit just to add a little bit more storage to the rig and make everything a little bit more accessible. Thanks for watching as always, and if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, you know what to do. Hit that button, hit the like button, please do leave a comment, and as always, ciao for now.